first and foremost, I'll introduce myself again. My name is Raymond Taimei, and I'm currently studying from 10D from Maria. And sir, in this interview, we're going to be talking about how sir's memories from as an alumni, right? For of how school years was for, how school years was for you, sir. So let's begin. And first thing I'd like to ask was when sir was informed of like this alumni thing, when we were informed about it, how did sir feel about it? Like, were sir like excited or any sense of how is it? Excitement in any sense?
Okay. First of all, thank you so much, Jaime, for giving me the opportunity to express myself about the memories that I collected throughout my school years. Before starting the conversation, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Kanil V. Sambandaram. I'm a media professional and journalism, currently working at Impact TV and Doordarshan Kendra Imphal, currently as Didi Manipur. So, yes, when we talk about Marian Montessori, it's a very special place for me because when someone mentioned about school, what happened is that the thing that came to my mind is Marian Montessori because I started my entire school career from Marian Montessori, starting from the baby class itself to class 12. I continuously studied in Marian Montessori. The fondest memories that I have with Marian Montessori is before arriving to this one, Korean. Marian Montessori was there at this one, Moirang Kong, okay, where the KG classes, the KG1, KG2 classes was there at Moirang. It was a very small premises. I still remember, I was a crybaby during the time. My father used to drop me up and then I cried a lot. And then, I studied there. And after that, what happened is that I was in class 1 and then in Korean, students were admitted from class 1 because it's very far away from the Imphal city. It's 10 kilometers from Imphal city. So only students from class 1 were admitted in Korean. So what happened is it was the first time, I have to go to bus. And it's really excites me. And then I still remember the first time I went to the Marian Montessori bus. What happened is I was at route number 5 during that time. And then Sir Vikram was the route in charge during that time. And for us, the newbies in the bus, so that we wouldn't get lost, what happened is Sir Vikram used to write route number 5 here in my this collar. So that was the fondest memories that I have during my childhood. But when we talk about the growing up period, there are lots of memories there because every nooks and corners of Marian Montessori has a memory for me also and for my batch also. Because what happened is that in human beings, we all have this kind of phases in our life where we learn something, right? So Marian Montessori taught me the beauty of friendship. Marian Montessori taught me the beauty of competitions because we have the house competitions. Frankly speaking, Marian Montessori also taught me the beauty of true love and the breakup also. Trust me, every part of Marian Montessori has, all the memories, about me. We used to bunk classes also, to be very honest. So bunk classes there at this one during the games period also. We went, far away from the campus. That was the fondest memories that I have.
Well, now sir's talked about a lot of sir's memories, and there were a lot of it, wholesome, funny, relatable, even. All of that mentioned, and I'm most definitely sure that sir had like some good amount of friends, right? And so, do you have any friends who you are still in contact with that you made a friend back in your school days, and you are still in contact or perhaps even friends with up until this day?
Last time, trust me, you're gonna grow up, right? So what happens? Trust me, those friendships that you made in your school life is going to last forever, last very long. Of course, we are in different professions at the moment right now, but what happened is that we have this huge bunch of friends of Marian Montessori. Most of them, they are married now. Some of them have kids right now also. Yes, we have ample amount of friends, and we most of us still have contact with each other. We have WhatsApp group, and then we talk about the same kind of a nonsense that we talk inside the classroom of Mario Montessori, class 9C, which was there at the Virgin block, same amount of nonsense talks. We still have it during our 30s also. We still have it in our WhatsApp group. So yeah, we have a lasting friendship from Mario Montessori.
Mm. Well, now we've talked about your friends. Now then, of course, school isn't just about friends, is it?
Yeah.
So we also have teachers. And so what I'd ask is was there a teacher at any point which really had this impact on Sir and Sir's journey as a student and as a graduate and right now as a journalist? Any teacher who had such a profound, who had a really profound impact on Sir's journey?
Every teacher has played drastic amount of role in my career growing up. What happened is that during our days, what happened is that me as a journalist, having a conversation is very important. So what happened is, Mario Montessori taught me to be very outspoken. Every teacher plays a very important role in my career, I should say. At the same time, Maria Montessori, the holistic education that I had in my school time plays a very important role. So I can never ever be able to mention particular teacher in particular that shapes my career, but every teacher, irrespective of the subject that Maria Montessori offer, plays a very important role.
Now, well, teachers aside, students aside, that's part of school, but going to the campus of school, that must have profound memory, a special place of memory, right? And of course, back in, as Sir was one of the first ever batches, there mustn't have been like too many facilities, right? And from what I've heard, there was just a block that is Genesis and a field. At least that's what I heard from back then. But Sir mentioned Virgin Block and up to class 12. So I suppose that Virgin Block is already present, right? And so there's at least 3 notable places, right? 3 notable areas of the school campus. And now, out of those 3, does Sir, or more casual sense, do you have any part or like any area of the school campus that you are very fond of up until today, that you still think of when this name Marian Montessori comes to your mind? Is there any place where like the first thing you, which is the first place that your mind goes to whenever the name comes up? Yeah, so yes, as you have mentioned, Jaime, I still remember, Jaime, when you mentioned about the school campus, I still remember Maria Montessori growing up slowly into the present day. I still remember Maria Montessori previously, trust me, now all the buildings are the shades of blues, right? The lighter blue above and then the darker blues below, right? All the buildings are shades of blue. During our time, what happened is that it was not the shades of blue, it was a shade of black and white. The upper walls is a white in color and then the lower wall is a black in color. I still remember Maria Montessori growing up. Yes, as you have mentioned before, Virgin block was the only block available to us. At the same time, when we were kids, when we were in class 2, 3, 4, during that time what happened is that the assembly ground that's performing assembly during presently is not concreted. Okay, so what happens is it's very dusty, and then we love that dust. Why? During the lunch break, we used to have lunch break during that time. And what happened is that during that time, what happened is that we used to play a game called SWA. SWA. It's a kind of a running game or something like that, more like a cousin of kabaddi or something like that, I should say, loosely translated. We love playing that. And then yes, I still remember Maria Montessori growing up, especially like it rapidly grew when we were in class 9. What happened is that Maria Montessori shades its color from black and white to blue colors. It was on the verge of 11, 12, first science, only science streams were there, 11, 12. Even in our time also art was not there, only science was there. So I took science. So what happened is that Maria Montessori, Ma'am Suchitra Devi Potsambam, after Madam Sakuntala Yadav left, after that, Sir Vikram
was the principal, and then after that, Ma'am Suchitra Devi Potsangam came. And then what happened is that during that time, Marian Montessori grew rapidly, and then the facilities of 11 and 12 was there. At the same time, the school premises started to grow rapidly. Happened is that, and yeah, I remember like Marian Montessori growing up slowly and steadily. And we are so happy because during that time, Harry Potter was very famous during that time, and we were very big Potterheads during that time. I still remember my friends. Some of them even passed away, fighting cancer. I still remember, watching Harry Potter, and we demanded Madam Gautami, who was the librarian during that time, to purchase all the series of Harry Potter, and fortunately they did. What happened is that, and then like we still remember when Marian Montessori shades its color from black and white to blue color. We felt a kind of, the Hogwarty feeling. We still felt that. It was really nice. Yeah.
Well, now since we're in this sensible and like very hot topic of like Harry Potter,
Yeah.
one of my favorite fictions ever, and like I think hands down one of the greatest fictions ever written.
Mm-hmm.
I've always had this question of like, how does it feel to wear a uniform that I've grew up my entire student life as a Marian, and I've never worn a uniform outside of the Marian uniform, that is.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always wondered how it felt to like wear another uniform. And as we're talking, Hogwarts was one of my bucket lists of like uniforms which I would love to wear. And now, unfortunately, since Harry Potter doesn't really exist, neither does Hogwarts. So the closest thing we can get to is the you who is talking about Hogwarts and has lived years before I was even born, right?
Yeah.
Lived in school before I was even born and wore the uniforms I've never seen, worn nor heard of. Now, since you're talking about it, how did it feel to wear those old uniforms, and like just thinking back to how much uniform has drastically changed over the years, and like how it was before the entire facilities or like the school itself grew up, and like the changes in uniform came in before any of that. How did it feel to wear those old uniforms that you are still familiar with?
When we talk about uniform, the only thing that is not changing at the moment right now is the color of your pen.
Yeah,
It's not changing. Yeah, it's a peacock color. It's not changing. I still remember wearing that. Everything changed because previously, even the white shirt, we don't have the logo. We don't have the logo during our time. At the same time, I also saw the evolutions of uniforms in Marian Montessori. First, it was always the tie. That's it. Previously, it was not a tie like that. We have a different tie. I still now also I kept all the Marian Montessori tie with me because it's kind of fondest memories, right? So it was. I still remember. At the same time, also when we talk about uniform, you should also talk about the houses.
Yeah.
Previously, the houses were just blue, yellow, green, and red. That's only the name. I still remember calling blue as Newton, calling yellow as Raman. Like it was a recent time.
Yeah.
When we were small, it was never Raman, Newton. So like we have blue house, we have yellow house, we have green house, we have these houses, these four houses. But after that, it was called as a Raman and Newton, taking inspirations from the famous scientists. I think it was during Ma'am Sakuntala Yadav's timing, during the time that the house were renamed into that. So yes, uniform has changed drastically right now, and then it's keep on evolving right now. So now when I came back to Marian Montessori, what happened is that I found that the 11, 12 students in commerce, science, arts and commerce students are also using the ash color, grayish colors uniform. It's not so, when an alumni look at it, it's not so Marian looking because grey was never a part of Marian.
Yeah.
So when you look at a school song, blue, white and yellow are a color. You have the old shades of blue, white and yellow in you. That's Maria. But it's just a thought. This is not because uniform drastically evolved. At the same time, I still remember previously the house t-shirt that you wore were not collared t-shirt. It was a t-shirt. Without any collar. Yeah, I still remember that. And then it turns to like solid. During our time, it was a solid color. When you are a blue color, you are wearing solid blue color with a collar.
Yeah.
Okay, but after that, now you have different shades of
Like a stripe.
yeah,
of
like
stripe.
stripes of color were there, right? So yeah, even in the house dresses, it evolves a lot. We do not know what track shoots or track pants are. We don't have that. We never got an opportunity to wear that. And then during our time, only hardly one or two students who were the captain, the prefects, they only wore the blazer. We as a commoners don't wear that blazer. We only wear the sweater during the winter period. And then muffler was very common. Yeah, so that's the fondest memories of uniform that I have.
Well, then, as Sir mentioned, back in your days, there was no thing such as track pants, right? Then, how many uniforms did you guys have back then?
We have two uniforms.
Like the white ones and
this uniform one with tie,
yeah,
and then the house uniform. Yeah.
And was the uniform, right? Seeing old pictures that Sir Sunny had shown us before, there weren't this much noticeable difference in like this uniform.
Yeah.
Was there?
Yeah, it was the tie that's make the difference.
It was only the tie?
Only the tie that makes a difference.
Yeah.
The white shirts and then the pen that you're wearing, the peacock blue pen, it's the same. The only evolutions that Marian Montessori have in respect to the uniform is always the tie. When I still remember, after coming back, after passing out from class 10 board examinations, I readmitted to class 11 in Marian Montessori. What happened is, the only difference that I have, we still wore this kind of dresses. I think back in 2010 or something like that. 2009. We still wore this kind of dresses in Marian Montessori, but the only difference is the tie. We have a different tie for class 11 and 12. We were very bossy because we wore the tie. Because we are in class, we are the senior most, right? So like that happens.
Yeah, so basically the tie carried a sense of pride of as a senior, right? Okay, then this uniform, as you had just said, didn't really change much. Then how about the house uniform? How has it changed like a lot? Or
in respect to the house uniform, what happened is that the t-shirt that I told you, it has changed a lot, because previously when we were kids, what happened, we wear t-shirt out uniform, but then this collar t-shirts came, the polo t-shirts of the house uniform came, and then right now the striped version of the house was there, right? When you wore the striped version, now the students of Marian Montessori wore the track pant, right? During our time, we don't wear track pants. We wear white pants.
During the Fridays and Saturdays?
During the Fridays and Saturdays. We wore the white pants. At the same time, we also wore the white canvas shoes.
Oh.
During that time. The white pant is not the elastic one, it's just formal white pant.
White pants and swa must have been a disastrous combination.
Of course it is. And trust me, the dust of the field, and then I still remember. Fortunately, I was very fortunate because the fluency. Unfortunately, I was never exposed to the education outside of Manipur. I did all my educations in Manipur, but I stand out because I was able to speak English fluently. This is all the contributions of Marian Montessori, and it's helping me in my journalism career also. We have this, during our time, we have this rule that we have to speak in English, we have to address ourselves in English, we have to have our conversation in English. It was a very strict rules. So because of that, I was able to speak, communicate, and express myself in English properly still this time also. At the same time, what do I have? We also have very weird rules. Like we can never have a long hair. If you have a long hair, what happened is in your Gen Z versions will say that it's a humiliation. Yeah, you may be humiliated. But during that time, I still remember younger, older teachers. They used to cut our hairs at the school.
At the school itself?
Yeah, at school itself. They used to cut our hairs. We are strictly prohibited from using hair gels. we are strictly prohibited from using hairspray or anything, hair fixtures and anything. This one, female students were strictly prohibited from using nail colors or any forms of makeups. It has to be like lots of strict rules were there. During our time, it's really frustrated to, undergo those kind of rules. But now that, I think about it, as an adult, what happened is that it really shapes my way of thinking. It really shapes my morality also. So I always think that it's a much needed kind of restrictions that Marian Montessori has provided. I learned this through my years of experience as a teacher also in Marian Montessori.
All right, so you have shared many upon many warm, wholesome memories, and also mentioned the drastic changes of Maria's journey and like how it changed over the years. And over the years, sir, as you said, you have been through it all, to the highs and lows, through the tides, to the high tides and low tides, whatever it is. And life always brings experiences and something to learn, right? And sir, you have spent roughly almost 15 years, or like 12 to 15 years in Maria itself, right? So during those years, during those years, did you learn anything that, I'm sure you learned a lot of things, but outside of curriculums and like studying like, the knowledge written in books, outside of that, do you have anything that you have learned from Marian Montessori that you still carry with you up until today and like really shaped you into who you are as of today?
Holistically, Marian Montessori has shaped me to who I am today, because my entire learning period as a human being, my entire learning periods I spent in Marian Montessori. What I want to say is that, as I've mentioned before also, the beauty of friendship, the beauty of love, the beauty of whatever the life has taught during that time also had to shape me. So academically also, Marian Montessori taught me a lot. I should say during our time, what happened is that it was one of the best institutions in Manipur which provided a holistic education. We were very fascinated about the labs that's being provided to us, the facilities that's being provided to us. We really feel proud of ourselves that we are Marian during that time also. I still carry that the sense of Marian with me still now also. And then yes, all the lessons that life taught in Marian Montessori, life taught, most of them is experienced through Marian Montessori.
Well, that's a really nice thing, and sorry. You have learned a fair share of knowledge, not just from books, but experiences from Maria. Maria has shaped you. It's almost as if the sculptor of a pot that you are. Your learning years, that is when you were a soft mud, Maria has shaped you into this beautifully successful pot that you are today. Not literally a pot.
Thank you.
Well, that is that, and you've learned your fair share, right? You have been through it all. Maria has sculpted you into who you are. Then now, that is, you learned all that while you were a student. Now there are still a lot of students, and there was going to be a lot more. And as a words of advice or words of wisdom from your side, from what you've learned, not just as a student, but as an individual, as growing up, if you could give a piece of advice to anyone who's still studying, who's still pursuing something, an aspirant of whether it be any fields, whatever it is, if you could give them a word of advice, what would it be?
My word of advice would be, comes from my own personal experiences. If you're excelling in educations, if you're trying to excel in your education, in your higher educations, what happens is that don't go blindly. try to understand the field properly and then go along with it. Have a blueprint of it. Example, if you are pursuing science, what happens is that just nowadays it's a general period, right? So what happens? You can learn anything from them. So what happens is that try to consult your seniors, or try to go through the internet and try to find out what you can do, what you can pursue after learning that. Don't go blindly by the influence of your friend, by the influence of your parents also. Because there is always, and honestly speaking, there is always a generation gap. You have to find out yourself what suits you best, right? Because honestly speaking, in your Gen Z language, an elder cannot, trauma dump you anymore, right? So what happens is that you have to learn it by yourself and know the process properly, and then have a purpose of what you are learning at the moment right now. Because what you are learning is going to be a bread and butter for you in the future. You'll be staying at least 70 years in this earth. And your academic education is going to be your weapon. So know things that you learn, because it's going to be the only weapons that you'll be carrying throughout. That's the advice I would like to give.
It's a beautiful piece of advice, and not just for, as I said, for everyone else who will be studying, who is studying, and who is going to be studying on. I'm so sorry, I just repeated myself. So anyone who's still studying, who will be studying, everyone will, I believe, take really let in your words and really just use your words and have this shared piece of advice and wisdom to actually help them shape who you are, and who they are. And personally, I'd be taken in as well, and that was a really nice advice, because I myself, being frank, I will go ahead and say that yes, I am interested in a lot of fields, and I don't know, I can't pinpoint what I want. And honestly, sirs, your words of advice, I think I'll use it, not just think, I will use it and really help myself. And I believe that every other student that is currently studying, who will be studying, all of them could use your piece of advice and really help themselves. And I will be helping myself as well.
Yeah, trust me. If you forcefully learn something, nothing good will come out from that. During the only piece of advice that I would give you is that learn something with a pride, with a sense of happiness in it. If you find something, have happiness in anything, it may be anything, do it. Because happiness plays a very important role. From that happiness, you're going to learn something. You're getting a lot of experiences. It's for you. It's a treat for your soul. So do it.
Well, then, since the interview is coming to an end, one last question that I was not initially planning, but just came onto my head just now. You have had a lot of interactions of former teachers, your friends, former classmates, or batchmates that you've known throughout your school years. All those combined, your days in the campus, bunking classes, having fun with your friends, actually putting in the effort to pass through exams, the struggles, the happiness, the memories, everything. If all of those combined together, you could, if you were asked, well, I am asking you to describe all of those, every bit of experience that you had in Maria, into one single word. What would you say it is, the single word? What would it be?
I wouldn't say it would in a single word, but I would use as a sentence.
Okay, single sentence.
A single sentence, yeah. Single word would be inappropriate. It would be a humiliation to my more than 15 years in Marian Montessori, I guess. It would be a humiliation.
Yeah.
As a student, and then another 3 years as a teacher in Marian Montessori. I would say that it was the best part of my life in Marian Montessori, yeah. Because I've never gained that experiences, I've never gained that amount of genuine friends, I never gained that amount of genuine teachers in my life after passing on from Marian Montessori. Friends are genuine, it was the best part of my life, I should say.
And if you could do it all again, do it all over again, Would you still choose Maria?
Of course, I'll choose Marian. I'll also choose Newton House.
Oh, I'm also Newton House.
Yeah, I'll also choose Newton House. Maria, but Newton House first.
As a prefect, that's quite flattering, and yeah.
Because Newton House was always my house. Starting from baby class to class 12, I was placed in Newton
Yeah, me
House.
too. I started Maria from like while I was from group one. Unfortunately, I wasn't admitted back in group baby class. Maybe I was. I can't remember.
Mhm.
From group one up until class 10th, I have been in Newton House my entire life, and right now I am studying class 10th. As you might have already known, 10th is the year. 10th is the grade where prefects are selected,
Mhm.
and should I have
During our
shared
time,
that?
you know that class 6 is the class where prefects are selected.
6?
6.
Oh, that's pretty early.
Yeah.
And then what about the vice captains, captains?
Vice captains, I guess, in class 9 and 10,
Nine.
if I'm
Oh.
not mistaken. I once got selected as, I think, as a prefect in Marian Montessori.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm conflicted.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, well, it's just opened up a lot more, and like felt really good knowing that my interviewee,
It's ex-prefects.
ex-prefects, yes. Not only that, the prefects of the same house.
Yeah, of course.
That's really nice.
Mhm.
And I was anticipating, and the more I talked with you, the more I got to relate and actually learn that Maria, though it might have changed in different ways,
Yep.
whether it be uniforms, whether it be curriculums, whether it be campuses, a Marian is always a Marian.
Of course, Marian is
Regardless.
always a Marian.
Regardless of whether you were the first ever batches
Mhm.
or like the batches of the current years, that is 2025, 26, whatever in that range.
Mhm.
Regardless of any of that, a Marian is always a Marian. That was I think a saying I heard from my seniors back when I was class 4th for the first time.
Mhm.
I mean, like when I was class 4, I heard that saying for the first time,
Mhm.
and the more I grew up, it just struck me more. But then having this conversation of like with an ex-Marian who studied in Maria like well over 30 years,
Yeah.
30 years ago, the experience, the campuses, the everything objective might have changed, but what it means to be a Marian, that really hasn't changed a lot. Just
Mhm.
it's like a revelation.
Like I
It's
want
like-
to add some, like before the end of the conversation, I would like to add something. I don't know about this generations, but during our generation, what happened is that when we met an ex-Marian, even still now this happens. Okay, when we
Yeah.
meet a familiar person whom we know that she also studies in Maria, we don't recognize their names, but we recognize their houses. Are you in blue house? Are you in yellow house or something like that? Still happens. I don't know about this generation. Do you still have that kind of things or not? But we, as belonging to that generation, we still have this kind of traditions that recalling the faces through houses. It happens, and I'm very sure that most of the Marians, ex-Marians, who is watching this conversation can relate to this.
A lot. I mean, hopefully, not just hopefully. I believe that a lot of ex-Marians will be like really will get to really relate with this a lot because Sarah yourself are an ex-Marian. Adding to that, a really old one. Not saying you're old, not in a rude sense, like in a an ex-alumni of one of the earliest batches, right? Before school was barely even a school.
Yeah.
It was just a campus with like an open field surrounding it, right? It's just, yeah. For me, it was really nice, and I believe that everyone else who will be watching this, who will be reading this, listening to this conversation, watching the video, will really get to relate to it. And I give the credit to Sir for being such a relatable person and not being those let me be frank. Those topper kind of students who would
Yeah,
just
yeah.
be, very stuck to their books. Not saying they're bad. I respect them and I respect their efforts as trying to be the ace student. But the thing is, I believe in my personal belief, a student and it's in its school years, as in just about studying. It's about what you built and how you lived in those years. And I believe a lot of the other students that are going to be watching this, who are going to be listening to this, will be, can relate to it, saying that not just books is, school is not just about books, it's about how you live as a student.
Yeah.
And
building memories.
And that thing thoroughly enhanced it by a large scale. And I think that for that, I would honestly be, sorry, I'm at a loss of words.
Take your time.
Express my profound gratefulness for being such a relatable person. That would be it. And oh wait, another question just came up.
Troy.
Just straight up pitching at you.
Yeah.
School. How was the school like? You've told me a lot about it, how it was, but like, how was it curriculum wise? Like, this wasn't planned formally. I'm just genuinely curious. How was it like in curriculum stuff, like studying and stuff?
Yeah.
Like, how much did it change?
The traditional forms of learning haven't changed much, but we have a very beautiful curriculum still during our time also. I think Maria is the first school in Manipur to introduce bagpiper during the some sports lit festival and something like that. I think Maria was the first. It was during our time also, the bagpipers was first came to Maria Montessori, and it's very fascinating. When we talk about the academic curriculum, I think nothing much has changed. The classroom is the same classroom that we learn during the time also. But I don't know about the other subjects. But when I enter as a teacher, the curriculum we follow the traditional forms of academic curriculum. But I'm very sure that now that NEP 2020 is implementing slowly in our education system, Marian Montessori education system is also going to implement more inclined towards a new NEP 2020. I'm very sure that. But of course, during our time, the curriculums were really nice, especially the art class. It was very nice. Sir Lalit was there as an art teacher. What happened is that we learned a lot from him. He's a student of, I think, Santiniketan Vishwabharati, I think. Sir Lalit was. So he tried to implement those kind of philosophies of Vishwabharati, Santiniketan to Marian Montessori School of Learning. What happened is that it was really nice. We were as excited as the art class was as excited as the games period, because we got a chance to go outside of the classroom and then with our canvas, not the canvas, just notebooks. We went outside and then he allowed us to draw inspired by nature, the trees, the birds, the building, whatever you want to draw. He never says draw this. He never tried to implement to draw this kind of things, but he let our imagination go wild, and we used to sit in particular places and we used to roam. Our eyes used to roam around, and what catches our attention more, we used to draw there. Those kind of academics was there. Music was introduced much later. Previously, music was not there.
So art came before music.
Art came before music. At the same time. Yeah, I think that's what it is. And when I talk about the academic career, what happened is, one funny thing is that the best part is that when we are in class 11 and 12, white apron was first introduced in Marian Montessori. So what happened is, in chemistry, practical class was always very fun, because we used to think like we are a doctor wearing the red aprons, and then unnecessarily we used to roam around all the corridors wearing the red aprons and holding the thick practical notebook. Yeah, we used to roam around that unnecessarily. So that's the kind of memories I have with the academic career.
Well, then again, that was the academic part. How about the school thoughts, news, the assembly conducting and stuff? Maria is literally, Maria is famous for its exposure for the students, right? Not they don't just keep the students in a room bounded by four walls and a whiteboard in front, like just mark chalks or markers to just teach and just send them, right? Maria is like well known for its exposure. That is curriculum, I mean extracurriculums, and then there's also events such as the annual day, sports week, and then especially the opportunity given to the students to actually have face the fear of stage fright, right? In the assembly, going in front of the entire school campus and giving thoughts, conducting assembly, news, whatever it is. Maria is well known for that. So I thought, so it just came to my mind that was the thoughts and news just around in your time, or was it implemented on much later on?
News and thoughts was always a part and parcel of Marian Montessori assembly from the initial stage. Yeah. I can tell you about the campus that was there in Moirangkong. We don't have because it's a very preschool type. We don't have much of the assemblies. But once we came in class 1, we came here in Koreangay in Marian Montessori. So news and thoughts was always a part and parcel of it. And one funny part is that thought was always prepared by the prefects.
Prefects captain, the house.
Yeah, they are always there, and then they randomly choose the students from this one assembly, okay, and then like they grab the students and then
on spot,
and then they were allowed to. That's the kind of thing. I still remember I was running from my vice captain or something. I still remember that because on the spot. It happens on the spot. You should read this. You should read this. It happens on the spot. But if you came voluntarily, you are allowed to prepare your own thoughts and news. Provided a teacher, house teacher, or the captain, they are gonna go through it, whether it's appropriately written or not, and then you're allowed to read that also. We have that liberty also. At the same time, when you talk about academic curricular, I don't know about this one right now in your time, but science exhibition and science seminar were seminars. Yes, science seminar. Yeah, science exhibition and science seminar are very, very popular in Marian Montessori. I still remember the models that's being exhibited in science seminar. It's a state level. During my brother's time, Arnold Sambanduram, what happened is that the models that's exhibited during that time got selected for state science model exhibitions held by Mastek, and they even took first prize. Science was very excelled in Marian Montessori. At the same time, we also have science seminar where we are allowed to talk about a topic. Ma'am Nilima was there during our class 8 time. What happened is that we used to talk about the plants, plant kingdom and stuff like that. I was very good at that. Yeah, we say, of course, extracurricular activities. When we talk about extracurricular activities, what happened is that it's very excellent in Marian Montessori, especially in science.
Okay, we were supposed to conclude the interview like a couple of minutes before, but just continue on, stretched on it, right? And then
you have other interviewers waiting for you, right? Okay, continue.
I would love to stretch the interview even more.
Sure.
But against time, we are fighting against time itself, so we don't really have much of a choice. And one last question is, how was the assembly and stuff conducted initially? As you had just mentioned, from Moirangkong. Sorry, that was a sentence.
Yeah.
So Moirangkong to Maria, to Koreangay, when it was moved from there into there. Genesis was the only block there at the moment, right? Then the assembly was it conducted in the very spot that it is?
Yes.
Still conducted today?
Yeah. I remember the time it got concreted. We were really happy for that. And at the same time, we were really sad because we always scared we cannot play SWA anymore there, because if we fall down in that area,
would really hurt.
Yeah, when we talk about assembly, I still remember prayer, the assembly prayer, "Oh Father who art in heaven," was never
Still
changed.
the same.
Still the same. It was never changed. What happened is that school song, Children of Marian Montessori, was introduced later on. School song was only sung during the school functions during our time. What happened is that during our time we sing a lot of songs that include Bande Mataram, and then the national anthem, the Jana Gana Mana. We used to sing that one also.
Only during the Independence Day? Or
No, like alternate days
Oh.
at school, at this one, assemblies, and we like we used to this one stand in our own houses, in different houses, have the different areas
Yeah.
in the assembly halls. At the same time, I still remember in our initial stage when we were in class 1 and class 2, the dispersal prayer were not there.
Oh,
I
was
still
it?
remember the introduction of dispersal prayer during our time. I still remember we were unable to by heart that. At the same time, we got a lot of scolding from the teachers because we were unable to by heart dispersal prayers also. At the same time, I still remember, there were one time, Marian Montessori introduced Marian Montessori bag, which is yellow in color with a logo there. I still remember that. At the same time, I still remember the culture of this one, school diaries. It was not there previously, but I think we were introduced to school diaries when we were in class 9. I think it was in 2008 or something like that.
So it was pretty late on.
Yeah, it was pretty late on. And then we were introducing that previously. Nowadays, the school diaries is blue in color, right? The first school diary is grey in color. So grey has always been an association of Marian Montessori, somewhere there. That's why I think they choose grey as a uniform for the higher students.
Oh, wait. When you just mentioned grey, it just struck my head somewhere like the school campus. I think it was getting painted grayish at the moment. Like it used to be blue for the longest time that I've been here. Just couple months back. I think it was this session or it was previous years. I can't recall properly, but school was the face of the school. It was getting colored gray or something.
Yeah. So like grey, blue, it's always alternating.
Oh, so it's
Marian
like
Montessori.
basically they're going back to their roots.
Yeah.
I
It's
just,
like that.
it was like I always question that, saying like, why are they coloring it gray? Like, Maria is the color of Maria is blue.
Yeah.
And so why are they coloring it grayish, whatever it is? And just having this conversation with you just gave me the realization that they're going back to the roots.
Yeah. It's really nice.
Yeah, something that's a really nice one.
Yeah.
Just like never anticipated that I'd have such a great time talking with you. But as they say, the best thing comes uninformed.
Yeah.
So that was a really nice conversation with you, sir. And if that's it, then I guess the interview would be wrapped up around here.
Yeah. And thank you so much for taking me back to my school days and allowing me to, express whatever is there in my mind without any kind of formalities or not. It's really nice, having a conversation with you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and also just sharing wasn't just fun for you. It was also fun for me learning about how the school was before I was even born.
Yeah.
Like
Literally.
Yeah, literally, quite literally. Not even like before when I had consciousness, gained my, the consciousness of a kid. Like infants don't really have consciousness today. They just exist.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It wasn't not even like before I gained my consciousness and like started my school. It was literally It was before I was literally born. So, and then funny experiences of sir and like really relatable experiences just made me feel like I'm really a part of Marian. Part of Marian.
You're always a part of Marian, and trust me, you'll always be a part of Marian, even if you move out from Marian Montessori. You'll always carry that sense of being a Marian.
Once a Marian, always a Marian.
Of course.
And I guess that would be how we wrap up this interview. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
That'd be it.
Thank you.